Let's dive into the discussions shaping the nation.
Minister, it is impossible to see any justification for the imposition of tariffs by the US on EU exports. It is indeed deeply regrettable that the US has decided to impose 20% tariffs on imports from across the European Union. And that worry has only been compounded by Donald Trump's recent announcement that he will target pharmaceuticals with major tariffs, next to quote him saying they will be major. Every opportunity for negotiations must be utilised, in my view. Ireland will be a strong advocate for an outcome which enhances the existing and strong transatlantic trading relationships. And Ireland, along with other European member states, is engaging on an ongoing basis with the European Commission under wider discussions with the US on this issue. Tariffs are economically counterproductive and disrupt the deeply integrated transatlantic supply chains and trading relationships that we have come to enjoy. Tariffs are the antithesis of what has allowed our economy to expand, to develop, and to become the incredibly successful economy by any international measure. They drive inflation, they hurt consumers on both sides of the Atlantic, and increased protectionism is in no one's best interest. The simple fact of the matter is that Donald Trump's actions in recent weeks, but also over the course of the previous few days, are arbitrary, they are illogical, and they are deeply damaging to the people who elected him. It is the ordinary person who will pay for this additional tax, the ordinary worker, the ordinary consumer who will pay these tariffs that Donald Trump is imposing, and they will feel it most in their pockets. And it is the Republican Party in the US that will have to answer for this policy position and for these tariffs when the midterm elections eventually roll around. Where tariffs are imposed, Ireland is supportive of the EU's position. We know that we have no choice but to take necessary proportionate action to defend the interests of our businesses, of our workers and our citizens. However, I do believe that cool heads are needed now more than ever. I note what is coming out of the Commission in relation to the €20 billion retaliation, but negotiations have to be the way forward. We do not need to escalate this issue any further. We're seeing escalations between the US and China. We do not need to see the same escalations coming across the Atlantic. I'm particularly worried about the dairy industry. It obviously is the backbone of the rural economy. It is key in North Tipperary, particularly in Nina. We're seeing reports that a pound of butter could go to €10 a pound in the US. That is something that we have to avoid where possible. I appreciate the diversification that is there in the dairy industry, but it still is a threat nonetheless. We saw threats to the dairy industry when Brexit rolled around. We saw how we were able to avoid them and diversify into Edam cheese, in particular out of cheddar cheese. But there is a lot of work to be done in this, and I don't think further retaliation is the way to go. Negotiations are an absolute must where possible.
Like, share, and subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.